Hey, what's happening, Wargamers? It is Leland here from Aegisbrand Studios. We're going to be doing something a little bit different today. We are going to be taking a look at Warhammer Quest Blackstone Fortress. So this is one of Games Workshop's more specialist type of games that they've been putting out lately. Well, I guess this one's a couple years old, where a couple of explorers are going into a deep Blackstone Fortress looking for archaeotech and clues and hopefully to uncover a hidden vault full of riches. So the explorers themselves range from rogue traders to Xenos forces to AdMech forces and even members of the Ecclesiarch. So we're going to be seeing what our heroes are capable of doing, and along the way they're going to be coming up across all sorts of defense mechanisms in the Blackstone Fortress, as well as traitor guardsmen and even some Chaos Marines. So we're going to take a look at the whole game. The whole idea behind this one is basically it's a dungeon crawl. So, I mean, those are always good fun. So we're going to be exploring the map, we're going to be drawing the cards, and we're just going to see how far through this expedition we can get. So the way we're going to structure this basically is we're going to go through each expedition, which consists of 4 challenge cards and 4 combat cards. You usually probably not do more than 2 combats in a single video just to keep it at a decent length. So this is going to be a long series of videos, so hopefully you keep checking back with us and you enjoy the trip as we go through Warhammer Quest Blackstone Fortress. As we embark on the first of our expeditions, we are going to draw from the exploration cards. They've already been shuffled up, so we have the combat cards and the challenge cards. And our very first one is going to be an ambush combat. So we're going to get that set up and see how our explorers fare. We have our ambush set up, so we have a group of Negavolt cultists hiding out over here by objective number 2. And a pair of spindle drones just hiding out by objective number 1. And we have our fearsome explorers kicking around here. So for now, we're going to be taking Yanis Drake, 025, Rain and Rouse, and Lokern Esparno, I believe the last name is. No, Espern Locarno, I was getting mixed up. So they are going to be our first 4 on this expedition. And we are going to check out what our initiative is. So we have going first, followed by hostile group number 1, so that is going to be the Spindle Drones, followed by Espern Locarno, who might be doing a covering fire, Janice Drake, Rain and Rouse, and then the Negavolt cultists will be up last. Now that's kind of good for me because those Negavolt cultists are a little bit of a pain to deal with, so I am quite happy with this setup. So I think what we are going to do though is we're going to do a covering fire. We're just going to move Locarno back there. Now I realize I probably should have rolled my dice for everyone first, so but I wasn't going to be using anything there. So, well, I might be doing a gambit there. So we are going to check out the dice and see what everyone has to play with in this first round. Espern Locarno's action dice, we are looking at actually a pretty good roll for him. So 6, 6, 2, and a 5. Perfect. And that's going to take us into Yanis Drake, who is also looking at a very good roll. I think I'm going to have a very good first turn here, just based on what I'm seeing. 2025 is... Oh, I rolled too many dice there. So let's just properly do this. Okay, that's about the same as before. So, no, that's a 2. Let's not make that a 3. And then Rain and Rouse, the 2 Rattling twins. Also, very, very middle of the road type of roll there. But it gives us an idea on what we're looking at. And we do also have our Destiny dice. So we get rid of any doubles. And we are left with a 5, 2, and a 3. So that's just going to go over there in our pile. To start us off, we're actually going to use 025, and because there is some spindle drones there, and his whole way of getting inspired is to kill a spindle drone with a claw weapon, I'm going to use one of the Destiny dice here, the 2, to allow him to move up 1, and then I'm going to use one of his regular dice to move up 1, and then we're just going to go to town on the one of the spindle drones here. We're going to take that other 2 here, and we are going to attempt to kill the spindle drone. Unsuccessfully, I might add, which is terrible. So we're going to take that last one of his activation dice, and we're going to try this again, and hopefully take out a spindle drone. Alright, so we got a success there. Now, the downside of that is that it's only 1 wound, and has run out of his abilities, which means we are going to go into the next initiative step, which is hostile group number 1, which is the Spindle Drones. So we are going to find out what they are doing in exchange here. So for each Spindle Drone, we're going to roll a d20. So for the wounded one, on a 14, because it is engaged, we're going to see an Onslaught. So Onslaught in this case... Okay, so Onslaught is attacking the closest explorer that is in range and visible to this hostile, and I believe it does it twice. I'll have to double check that. So that is going to be a pair of attacks. Now in this case we are threat level 0, so thankfully we're just rolling on the small little d6. Not a lot that can go wrong there for us. So, of course, the very first one is going to be a critical. So, we're going to take defense dice here. And in this case, he does get to re-roll these, which is good. And we will successfully defend against it. Perfect. But then it does get to attack again. That one looks cocked. And nothing happened for the second attack there. And then the other Spindle Drone is going to be doing a 13, which I do believe is also an Onslaught. So we're going to basically see the same thing happen. The first attack is going to be a Grievous. Oh, there's a reroll though. Oh no. Okay, so that means that is a Grievous wound being put onto 025. And then the second attack is going to do nothing. So right out of the gates, the Spindle Drones have done some damage to one of which is a Grievous, which means I'm rolling 1 less activity die. So I'm going to actually have to get some work done here and get back in the game. That brings us to Rain and Rouse, and I'm going to try and pick off one of these Negavolt cultists with a sniper rifle here, and it looks like we are at range 3, so 1, 2, 3. So in this case, I'll be rolling one of the nice little purple die here, hopefully getting a Grievous wound with no cover there. That is a Grievous wound, so that is going to count as 3, and the Negavolt cultists only have 2 wounds, so that is going to be 1 dead cultist right off the bat. And I think what I'm going to do... next is we're going to use a double team action, I believe. So that's on a 2+. So one Ratling is going to make a move, which I think will be this fellow over here. I don't know if this is Rain or if this is Rouse. And he's just going to go 1, 2 into cover right there. And what's going to happen is the other attack, let's see, oh, well, both Rain and Rouse are going to move, so he's just going to go 1, 2, and get into cover there as well. And then we're going to use another action here, and I think what we're going to do is we're going to activate a stub pistol. I got to figure out who is who here, but we're going to do a stub pistol into... Oh, geez, you know what? Yeah, we're going to do a stub pistol. No, we're actually going to do another movement, I think. We're going to do another movement right to there. And then we're going to use the last one here to do a stub pistol. And just in an attempt to try and take out one more Negavolt cultist, which only 1 wound, but still, that is something. But it is going to bring us to the end of the activation. You know what? No, I'm going to spend a Destiny die, and we're going to try that one more time. And there's the Grievous wound. So that takes down another Negavolt cultist. Perfect. Except we are going to activate Yanis Drake. We're going to take that 4 that he got, and he's just going to go 1, 2, just to eliminate cover on that Negavolt cultist. And we are then going to use a 6 for Flurry of Attacks here. So with Flurry of Attacks, it is going to be the purple die. Oh, get my hand out of the way there. And can make an attack, can attack twice basically for the cost of 4+, or 3 times for the cost of 6. So he's going to be getting 3 attacks in this one. And let's see here, and I can just keep attacking. So hopefully I'm able to take something out here. So let's see here. First attack, nothing. Second attack, nothing. Third attack, 1 wound. All right. And what we're going to do is we're going to take one of those 5s, and we're just going to do 2 more attacks here just to try and take out this guy. And there we go. That is enough to take out the last Negavolt cultist, which is good because they had an activation coming up here. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to use his 5 to go one more, and then we're going to use that last Destiny die of ours to actually do a search action. And we are going to pull a clue. So that's excellent. So we have a clue, and that's going to bring us to Aegisbrand Locarno. Aegisbrand is actually just going to use a couple of his dice, the 2 and the 5, and he's going to go 1, 2, 3, and yeah, he's just going to go over to there, I think. And then he does have a couple more attacks here. So what we're going to do... Oh, did I want to do that? Actually, you know what? He's just going to use one of his dice here. And he's just going to get right behind and then use his third eye, because that's going, at that range, it's going to allow me to roll the nice 8-sided die. So he's going to do that once, and he's going to go after the unwounded spindle drone here for nothing. So we are going to try that again because I got to take out some of these spindle drones. Nothing. Oh my goodness. Okay, we're trying this one more time. Okay, that was an absolutely atrocious roll for my part, and that is going to bring us to Hostile Group 2, which in this case is going to be a reinforcement roll using the Blackstone die. So nothing is going to happen, and that's going to be the end of this turn. We do have an event roll that we need to make, though, at the end of the round, and on a roll of an 18, that is going to be a heroic effort. So, for a heroic effort, what do we got? The leader picks an explorer that is out of action. Okay, no one's there. Deploy the explorer in the same hex as another explorer or as close to another explorer as possible, then make a vitality roll. If no explorers are out of action, the leader picks an explorer, make a vitality roll for that explorer. So, the only one who actually needs a vitality roll would be and I'm not sure if I'm able to do that on a grievous wound. I should probably check that out. On a grievous wound, if I actually get a critical success on this, I can actually turn my grievous wound into a regular wound. Nope, so it is going to stick around for another turn. What we need to do is we need to see if any of our characters are getting inspired. So Rain and Rouse did take out 4 wounds worth of Negavolt cultists. So nothing there because I needed to roll under 4. And Yanis Drake needs to roll a 1 or 2. Nothing. Into the next turn, we have to roll our Destiny dice, and let's see here. We actually got not a bad roll, and I did miss something from Aegisbrand Locarno. Basically, after the Destiny roll is made, he can move 1 discarded Destiny die to the available Destiny dice selection. So I lose one of those 2s, but I am going to get the other 4 right here. So that does give me some nice options here, and that is going to bring us into the initiative phase. So let's see, going first, we have Aegisbrand Locarno, then we got Rain and Rouse, followed by Yanis Drake, Hostile Group number 2, Hostile Group number 1, and And I think what we're going to do is we're going to do a covering fire, and we're going to move Locarno over to there and move down to there. Just because I really want to go first and hopefully take out some of these guys here. And now we get to see whether or not we get some decent dice rolls here. So Rain and Rouse, not too bad. Bunch of 4s and a 6. So I'm going to be doing I'm going to do a lot of things that I need to do there. 5 and a 4 for Yanis Drake is looking at not the best roll here, but he's going to be able to get him to move around here. And Aegisbrand Locarno is rocking the 6s there. So all in all, not a bad setup. With up first, he is going to go after the weakened spindle drone here. And he's still not going to kill the dang thing. So that was 1 die there. He's going to use another one, and he's going to do it again. Okay, that is better. So he finally did get a spindle drone out of the way there, which is also going to inspire him, which is a big deal in this case, because once you're inspired, you definitely get a lot more bonuses here. So in this case, with him being inspired, he's just going to flip over to this other card here, and a lot of his attacks are just become a lot more powerful now. And what he's going to do is I'm actually going to spend that last 5 here, and we're going to do one more Power Claw attack, which is now the double 8-sided die, or 8-sided or 10-sided? Either way, it's the bigger die, and he's just going to go to town on this other spindle drone here for 1 point of damage. Oh my. But still, that is a point of damage on the spindle drone. But that is, you know what, is going to use one of the Destiny die, and he's going to do it again because I don't like drones. There we go. That is enough to kill the last spindle drone, which is great. And then I think what he's going to do is he's going to use one more of those Destiny dice, because he can use up to 2. And he is going to attempt to do a Vitality and get that Grievous wound moved over to a normal wound, which it will. So that Grievous became a normal, and now he can hopefully try and shake that next turn. Rain and Rouse are up next, so I'm going to activate Rouse here, I believe, and he's just going to go 1-2 to get him into a better position, because then what I can do is I can activate his 6 dice, and we are going to make his grapple hook, and we're just going to place him in a visible hex to him. So let's see, I believe that puts him right down to there, and we're going to do one more action with him to move him over there, and the final action we're going to do is we're going to spend the 4 to summon the Maglev and get ourselves an escape route. Drake is up next, and I think I'm just going to spend a bunch of movement here. So let's see, 1 die, 2 die, and yeah, we'll get him in there for 3 die total. I don't think there's really much else worth doing for him. But that does bring us into Hostile Group 2. So we're going to see if any more Negavolt cultists come back, which they do not. And then Hostile Group 1, which thankfully we also will not see some more come by. So that's going to bring us to Aegisbrand Locarno, and he's going to spend his first die to get over to objective number 1. And then he is going to search it, and his discovery card is going to be a little bit of Archaeotech. And now basically the last 2 die he uses are just going to be getting him to the Maglev here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is going to bring us to the end of the turn. And did collect 4 wounds worth of enemy kills. And oh, okay, so he's going to get one of the Inspired tokens. Fantastic. That's always helpful for him. And then we have to roll the event die. And we got an 18, so same as before. So what that allows me to do, if I recall correctly, is allows me to make a Vitality roll, I believe. Yeah, so I make a Vitality roll for the Explorer, so that's definitely going on So he's still not going to recover that one, which is unfortunate, but at least there's no more enemies to take advantage of that. To the next turn, we roll our Destiny dice. And we got a whole bunch there. Esperan's going to give us that extra 1 there. So we have 4 dice to play around with, which is basically just going to be used to get us to the Maglev. And we have our initiatives. So we got Yanis Drake first, who's already where he wants to be. Aegisbrand Locarno. Group 1, Group 2. Rain and Rouse. And And I think Drake and are going to do a covering fire here. Just because, it just makes sense. I want to get as close as I can here. So, with that having been said, we look at our dice, and is going to get a 4 and a 4. Rain and Rouse, looking at some decent dice there, but considering it's all just movement. Yanis Drake, not really caring what he got there, and Aegisbrand Locarno. Basically the same deal. Not a huge deal as to what he actually is getting there. So that is going to start us off with and we're just going to use his dice here. So he just moves really slow, sadly. Let's see here. So we increase the move value from 1 to 2 if an activation dice of 2+ is spent. So he's going to be spending both his 4s. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. And he's going to spend the 3 from the Destiny die and do 1, 2. And you know what? He's going to spend the 4 from the Destiny die and just get in there, which is perfect. Which brings us to Aegisbrand Locarno. He's just going to spend 3 of his dice and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just to get back there, which is going to bring us to hostile group number 1. So the Spindle Drones are not coming back. That was a 7. And the Negavolt Cultist, okay, so we don't have to contend with them, which means with Rain and Rouse, we're pretty much looking at, let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so I have enough dice there that both Rain and Rouse are going to make it in there, and that is the first combat challenge. Our explorer is back on the Maglev. We are going to do the next exploration card, which is going to be a challenge. So in this case, we have cut them down. A group of hostiles are escaping in with a horde of valuable material. They must be brought down before they get away. So in leader order, well, that's me, each explorer takes 3 weapon actions. The first weapon action is treated as if the explorer were attacking a hostile visible to them that is not in cover and range of 3 hexes. The second is treated as if the explorer was attacking a hostile visible to them and not in cover at a range of 4. And then the third is visible, not in cover, and range 5. Add up the damage scored by each explorer. Any explorer that inflicts a total of 4 or more draws a discovery card. Alright, so that is pretty fantastic right there. So we are going to start with Janice Drake here. So it starts at range 3. So we got ourselves one of the purple die. So we got nothing. Then it goes to range 4, which unfortunately does bring us down to the this little guy right here. Nothing. And then range 5, nothing. So next up we will be doing Aegisbrand Locarno. So at range 3 he does roll one of these nice big ones here. And we got nothing. And then we got just the little one here. Nothing and nothing. Wow, these are kind of terrible. Rain and Rouse next up. We'll start with the sniper rifle. Well, it's going to be all sniper rifle. So there's 2 right off the bat. Fantastic. And then we move up to the blue die. And there we go. So that is enough to get us our 4 wounds right there. So we're just going to move on to at this point, who is rocking his assault cannon. So the assault cannon, the first one is going to be 1 damage. And then we're just going to roll these together because they're the same things. So just looking to try and get 3 more damage, which we did not do. So 1 discovery card is going to be drawn by Rain and Rouse, and we are looking at a specimen stasis tube. Awesome. And that goes into the pile here. And then we move on to the next step, which is another exploration card, which is going to bring us into another combat. If we get too far ahead of ourselves, we do have a vitality roll to make for during the recovery phase. And he'll finally get that regular wound back. So he is back up to his 3 wounds. We have our next encounter put together here. So we have our valiant explorers on the Maglev. And looking on across from them, there are 3 discovery points here. So group number 1 has a pair of spindle drones. Group number 2 is 6 trader guardsmen. And group number 3 is just a single spindle drone. Alright, so let's check out the initiative and see how this is going to shake out. So we have Aegisbrand Locarno going first, followed by followed by group number 2. Then group number 1. So thankfully they're far enough away that I don't think I'll be in too much danger. Followed by Janice Drake, Rain and Rouse, and then group number 3. And I think at this point, Janice Drake is actually going to take his gambit attempt, because he can do a free gambit attempt. So he's going to roll a agility die. And if I get a success, he's just going to swap with hostile group number 1. If he gets a critical success, he's going to swap with hostile group number 2, I think. Okay, so it looks like he's just swapping with group number 1. Now what we're looking at for Destiny Dice. And, okay, so I'm going to lose one of those 4s. And then Aegisbrand Locarno is going to use his ability to make sure I still get one of them. So not bad, I still got 4 dice to play with. For our activation dice, Rain and Rouse are going to be getting a staggering Oh, okay, not too bad. 5, 4, 6, and a 1. Alright, excellent. Back at full strength is looking at 3, 1, and 2. That's atrocious. Yanis Drake is ready pretty much across the board. He's not going to really be able to do much flurry of blows this turn anyway. And Esbern Locarno is looking at 4, 5, 2, and a 6. So not too shabby. Starting off with Esbern, he's going to use his 2 die here, and he's just going to go forward. Let's see here. He was there, so 1. No, he's just going to end right there, because that's going to put him within range 3 of some of these Traitor Guardsmen here. So he's going to use his 3rd eye ability, using the 4, and this is going to be one of the nice big blue dice. And he'll get a single wound on that Traitor Guardsman, so we'll give it to the one with the grenade there. And he's going to do it again. There we go. Okay, so he is going to kill one of the Guardsmen, which is excellent. And you know what? I'm going to do that one more time, because I don't think I need the other die there. Looking for a grievous wound, that would actually be fantastic. No, nothing. So that does end Esbern's turn. Is up next, and I think in this case I want him to be able to... Well, he needs to move. So I'm going to spend the 1 and the 2 here. It's just going to go 1, 2, 3, and I think 4 right down to there. And from there, he's just going to try and ram through some of these guys here. So he's going to use the 3, and he's going to go after this group right here. So sadly, no matter where he fires from... Oh, actually, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Yeah. Oh... You know what? I want him to not have to worry about cover, so I'm actually going to use his 3 to get him right more in, and then I'm going to use a bunch of Destiny die to get through here, and just hope for the best that he can actually do some work. So, oh geez, I got to figure out if I want to do the Assault Cannon or the Power Claw. Based on where he is, he's got to use his Power Claw. So he's going to go after this group right there, and because the Sergeant is in that one. So he's going to start by spending one of the Destiny dice, and that is enough to take out, we'll take out the Sergeant. And then he's going to spend the other 4 up Destiny die, and that is another Guardsman that is taken down by Bring us to hostile group number 2 activating. So we're going to start with the guy with the club, and he's just going to be doing a 4, which in this case he is engaged, so there's going to be an onslaught, so basically 2 attacks coming in, and he's just got his I guess it's the pistol and the melee weapon there. So it's just the purple dice twice, so nothing, and one there. So is going to get his defense, and he will gladly tank it. So that is the first one out of the way there. And we have 2 more to go. So this one will be the one with the flamer. It's going to be a 5. So we're looking at an onslaught once again here. So an onslaught with the flamer. Oh my god. Okay, so he's got a big die here. So there is a regular attack, which will be defended. And then the other one will be a grievous wound, which will be defended. Okay, having a much better time this time around. And then the last guy with the Guardsman, so it's going to be Onslaught once again, and this is just a las gun, so just a little purple die here, nothing, and nothing. So is having a good time. Now I did realize I forgot to do a reinforcement roll for these guys, so let's do that right now. And nothing, so no one's coming back. Drake is up next, and he's just going to spend a little bit of movement here just so we can start getting within range. I'm thinking I'm going to try and get him within range 3 of the spindle drones. So let's see, where will that be? That'll be 1, 2, 3. So he'll need to be around there. So let's see, that's 1 die and then 2 die right there. I could get him a little bit closer and try and negate distance. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna spend 3 of his regular activation die here, so that'll give him 1 more movement, and then I'm just going to get him right there. And I'm going to use some Destiny die. Now I realized with I didn't have to use the 4 pluses. I'm just using the 1 pluses with him because that's all his Power Claw needed. So that does give me the 4 pluses over here. But I'm going to start with the I guess it doesn't really matter. Flurry of attack is 4+ and 6+. So we're going to do Flurry of attack, and we are going to hope for the best. So in this case, it is going to be 2 attacks, and hopefully killing some guys here. So first one is 1 damage, and then he'll get, that's a cock dice, nothing. So 1 damage right there. He's going to spend another die and do it again. And that is the grievous wound. That is enough to take out one of the spindle drones. The second attack going up against him, nothing. And he'll spend that last destiny die. I'm being greedy with the destiny die right now. Nothing. And looking for that grievous. No, just 1 wound on this spindle drone. Which does mean hostile group number 1 is going to activate. And it is going to be a 3, which when engaged, we are looking at a fallback. Okay. So a fallback move in this case is, let's see here, double the hostile's move value when they take this action. If the hostile can make a move that ends in a hex that is not visible to any explorers, they do so. If they cannot, they just move as far as they can. So they have a movement rate of 2. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So he's just going to go back there and hide out with group number 3 there. And I forgot the reinforcement roll again. Nothing. So they're not coming back. But that does bring us to Rain and Rouse. Very first action with Rain is going to be actually to use the sniper rifle. So he's going to take that 4+ for the sniper rifle. And he's just going to take a pot shot at that guardsman right there. So this is one of the 8s, or the blue dice. So 1 damage is going on to that guardsman. And I think what he's going to do is he's going to take that 5 and do it again. And that will be enough to take the guardsman out. And then they're just going to spend the last 2 dice, and they're going to basically be doing the double team actions. Oh, actually, they can only do 1 double team action. So Rain is going to go 1, 2, and then the double team is going to go 1, 2, 3. They'll get it Rouse to there, and Rain will get right to there. Just a hostile group number 3, which will be doing a 6 on the chart, which in this case, they do not have line of sight on anyone. Oh, actually, no, they would have line of sight on They're not in cover. They're not close. So, on a 6, we are looking at an aim action. Okay. The threat level has increased, so roll in one of the purple dice. So we got 1 damage going through onto who doesn't get his cover in this particular attack because of the aim. And he will block it, though, with a critical success. Roll the event die, and we are going to see a 14 come through here. So 14 is an escape chamber. So the leader places the portal furthest from the explorers with a maglev transport escape chamber. If more than 1 portal is equally far from the explorers, the leader can pick which one. Okay, so let's see here. So this portal down here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whereas this one is 1, 2, 3, 4. So it looks like this portal is getting the maglev. Next set of rounds here, we got our destiny dice. And actually, that's pretty good. So using Locarno's ability, I'm going to get 4 destiny dice once again. Nothing terribly fancy with it, but it is something. And then we are looking at our initiative track here. Going first, we have hostile group number 2. So the spindle drones, followed by... Oh, wait, no, sorry. Guardsmen, followed by spindle drones. Followed by spindle drones. Then Aegisbrand, Rain and Rouse, and Yanis Drake. Oh boy. Okay, this is going to be something. We do have some wound rolls here. So Rain and Rouse, going to see if they get an inspired token. Nope. Is not. Yanis Drake. Oh, so close. And Aegisbrand Locarno. No. So sadly, no extra tokens to be gained anywhere on that one. But we do have some action rolls now. Rain and Rouse are looking at 6, 3, 2, and 5. Is 1, 3, and 5. Yanis Drake is 1, 3, 3, and 6. And Aegisbrand Locarno 6, 3, 4, and 1. So not bad. With group number 2, we have a reinforcement roll. So thankfully nothing new is coming on. So the Flamer is going to be doing a 17, which in this case, the 17 he is engaged is, oh, surprise, surprise, it is going to be an Onslaught. So an Onslaught with the Flamer is going to be the blue die. So first one is nothing. Second one is nothing. So we got lucky there. And then the last gun is going to be a 15, which is also an Onslaught. And in this case, it is range 1. So it's the purple die. Nothing. And nothing. So got off very lucky there, because that could have otherwise hurt. Group 1 now is going to try and reinforce, which it is not. And it's going to roll a 15, so that one little wounded spindle drone on a 15 does have line of sight. There's no covers others, so it appears to be an Onslaught. Yeah, so it looks like it's doing an Onslaught. So what does an Onslaught do when it's not within range? Like it's just going to be an attack. So is within cover there, and it's the purple die. So it's going to be a grievous wound going down to a regular wound, which will block. And then the second attack will be a regular wound, which will just get ignored because is in cover. And then that's going to bring us to Spindle Drone number 3, who is going to do a 13. And in this case, it is looking like it is also an Onslaught. So once again, is going to be taking some pot shots. Nothing. And Grievous down to regular, which will block. So that is the enemy attacks going into the Explorers. Starting with he's going to take the 1 Power Claw, and he's going to try and take out the guy with the Flamer. And successfully with the critical there. And then he's going to take a 3, and he's going to attempt to do the same thing to the Guardsman, which is just 1 wound. So I think what I'm going to do with he's going to spend that 5 he has, and he's just going to try and finish off the Guardsman. Yeah, there it is. So that is both Guardsmen finished off by So he is looking happy, and I think what he's going to do is he's going to spend the 1. No, he's going to spend the 2, sorry, because I want him to move a little bit further. He's just going to go 1, 2 to there. And that'll bring us to Esbern Locarno. He's going to spend 1 die to go 1, 2, and then another die to go to here. So he's going to spend the 1 and the 3. Then he's going to use the 4 to pick up a discovery card, which we are looking at some archaeotech for him. So he's getting rich quick. And what do we do from there? And then we're going to spend the 6 to just move him a little bit more. So 1, 2, right over to there. Yanis Drake is going to spend 1 to go over here and collect that piece. He has to use his 6 to pick it up, though, unfortunately. But it is going to give him a discovery card, which we are looking at the Remnants of the Fall. So that is actually an item for Amalin's Shadow Guide. I don't know if we're going to be using her anytime soon, but still, it's nice to get one of the inspired cards. And then he's just going to spend the 3 to go 1, 2. He doesn't have any line of sight, but I do have some dice here. So he's going to use his last die to get right up in their grill. And then he's going to use the 4 that's in the Destiny die to do a flurry of attacks. So it's going to be 2 attacks here using the purple die against... I'm going to start against the Wounded Spindle Drone, which is enough to take the Wounded Spindle Drone out. Fantastic. And then the second attack will do nothing, and I got nothing else unless I want to do a pistol and rapier attack. Yeah, you know what, I might as well. I'm going to do a pistol and rapier attack, and for 1 point of damage. Rouse is up next, and Rouse is going to take his 6, and he's going to do a grapple hook because he has line of sight all the way down to there, so he's just going to grapple right across the whole board there. And what I'm going to do next, I believe, is I'm going to do I'm going to use the 2, and I'm going to do a double team. So he is just going to actually go 1, 2 onto the... Oh, actually, no, you know what? He's going to stay there. He's going to move. Rain is going to go 1, 2, and Rouse is going to do a stub pistol attack against the wounded Spindle Drone and get nothing. So I'm going to spend the 3, and I'm going to do it again. So I'm going to do the stub pistol attack. Nothing. And I think what we're going to do is we're just going to move Rain 1, 2 to there. And I want to try and take out the spindle drone, so I'm going to use the 5 that's in there. We're going to do a sniper attack using the purple die. Yeah, using the purple die. Oh, jeez, that dropped. Oh no, nothing. So unfortunately, I was not able to take them out. So I do have one more destiny die, so I'm going to do a double team attack. So they're both going to basically do stub pistol attacks. So Rain, nothing, and Rouse. There we go. That's the last one that was needed, and that takes him out. And we have the event die to roll, and we have an 18. So once again, that is the heroic effort. So nobody is actually wounded. This has been a good match for me so far. So nothing on the on that one. Rain and Rouse killed 2 wounds worth of guys, but they get no token. Gets nothing, and Yanis Drake gets nothing. So that's going to take us into the next turn. Off, we have our destiny dice, and we have that one's cocked. So we once again are going to get 4 dice here using Aegisbrand Locarno's ability, and then we are going to move over to see what our activations are. Rain and Rouse are looking at some pretty good rolls there. Once again is looking pretty good as well. That was also a 6. Let's not lose that. Yanis Drake. He's got enough to go collect an objective, which is great. And then Aegisbrand Locarno is looking pretty good as well. I gotta remember to get this to focus properly. So all in all, pretty solid roll there. So we're gonna take a look at the initiative. Yanis Drake is going first, followed by Rain and Rouse. Hostile group number 2, hostile group number 3, hostile group number 1, and Aegisbrand Locarno. So I see no reason to actually play around with any of these, so we're just going to do this pretty quickly. So Yanis Drake is going to spend 1 to go here. He's going to spend his 6 to pick up a discovery deck, and he's going to get some Archaeotech. And then, let's see, he's 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so he's just going to spend his last 2 dice to go 1, 2, 3, 4, like so. Rain and Rouse, pretty much doing the same thing. They're going to use a couple double teams here, so 1, 2, 1, 2, and then just 1 more to get them in here. Hostile group number 2 is not going to reinforce. Same with number 3, and number 1 is not going to reinforce either. And at this point, I have enough to get everyone into the Maglev. And that is where we're going to leave our Valiant Explorers for this particular instance. So that was 2 combat and 1 exploration. And to avoid this going long, 2 combats is good. I think that's what we're going to cap it. So be sure to tune in next time as our explorers continue to delve into the Blackstone Fortress. As always, thank you all for watching. Be sure to comment below. Tell me what you liked, what you didn't like. And as always, hit that little subscribe button. Any little support helps this channel grow. So it's always greatly appreciated. And happy wargaming.